Hi, I'm Norm Abram, and welcome back to a brand new season of This Old House.
This season we're working on the banks of the scenic Charles River,
Today we're going to get the first look at our new project.
where we're helping a young family take advantage of the views out back and giving it some curb appeal out front. And work gets underway, but on this job it starts with removing some hazardous materials, right here on This Old House. This is Auburndale, Massachusetts, and it sits at the intersection of two very busy highways and the famous Charles River. And what's so great about this area is that it's only 9 miles from downtown Boston.
Hey Kevin, you know it's great to live in this area because with these highways close by you can get into downtown in just a few minutes.
And after a hard day's work, you can be home, out here on the river enjoying nature.
Right, now our house is just downriver a little bit, so what better way to get there than in a canoe?
All right, and we're off. Now this is commuting.
Yes. Now as the crow flies, the Charles River is 26 miles long from where it starts in Boston, where it actually enters the ocean. But because it meanders so much, it's actually over 80 miles.
Well, the original name of the river was Quinnipiquin. You know what that means, right, Norm?
Quinny what?
Quinnipiquin.
I have no idea.
Well, it was the Native American word for meander. Now, the river's name was changed to Charles in the 1600s after King Charles I from England, and it has kept that name ever since. The Charles River. So it's a good place to canoe, but it's also a great place to live, and our project house is just up the bank there.
Well, let's go take a look at it.
The water approach to the back of the house is dramatic, but the approach to the front of the house is equally dramatic.
Right, what I like is that instead of having a street with houses on each side, they widened the street and created this beautiful green space down the middle.
And private green space, because we've got water on 3 sides, so it's a little bit of a peninsula here, and there's really no need to come down to this neighborhood unless you live here.
That's right. You know, this was prime real estate back in the day. This peninsula was part of a large estate. There was a house at the end, and when that went away, the rest of the property was developed. And there's some real nice houses in this neighborhood.
You know, the homeowners love the neighborhood so much they stalked it for 3 years, and they waited for a house to come on the market, and when it did, they jumped. And a little bit of a leap of faith, but this is what they got.
Wow. You know, to me, it's very simple. It's just a box.
Yeah, simple is probably being kind, Norm. It's stark, and it's actually 2 boxes, including this little guy right here, a flat roof garage, which kind of looks like a bad addition put on some years after the house was built.
Well, actually, it's not an addition. We have the original plans, which date back to 1940, and that was always part of the original plan, just as you see it.
A homeowner and an architect actually designed this house just the way it looks right now. Not a lot of detail. I mean, what, no window trim?
Yeah, no casings, no trim, no ornamentation of any kind, and these U's are totally obscuring the front of the house.
We've got sort of a weird bump out here. So, well, we do know we've got a great location, and we've got homeowners with big dreams, right? So I guess I should go talk to them and find out what their dreams are.
All right, and I'm going to check in with our architect.
Oh, all right. We got the whole family here. Good morning, Ravine.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Allison?
Good morning.
Good
Good to see
morning.
you guys.
And who are these guys?
I'm Jay.
Jay, all right.
Natasha, and of
Natasha.
course our hamster Blackberry.
Oh, so we got a family of 5, or maybe 4.5.
That's right.
Good deal. All right, so you guys ready?
We're ready.
So I just came from the water.
Yep.
I have no doubt why you guys bought this
Right.
property. It's an unbelievable location.
It is. We
Yeah.
love it.
Do you?
Yeah, we love it.
All right. So tell me what
So-
you love about it and what you don't love about it.
Well, like you said, we love the water, but
Yeah.
one of the biggest problems is you come through this front door and you just have no idea that the water's there.
No, you really
So,
don't, do you? You're kind of sort of smacked with this wall right in front of
This
you.
is a very dark area, so first thing we want to do is open this doorway up all the way to the top and out here a bit so that when you come through you have a nice view
Makes
straight out the
sense,
back
right?
here.
So just start opening this house up so
Open
you can
it
see the
all up.
water. Hey, do me a favor. Save the balusters for me, would you? We might.
You can have those.
All right. So what do we got back here? Kind of a family room?
Yeah, this is our living room, and again back here we just can't see the river. It's like try as you might, you can't see it. So this will be windows, nice big window here. So when you come around that corner, you'll just be wowed.
Gotcha, corner window. I love it. Bring the light in because it is kind of dark. I mean, it's a really bright, sunny day out there, but you don't get the feel
Absolutely.
of that in here. So nice big fireplace.
Right.
Does this guy work?
Fireplace works. We love it. This is
Yeah.
going to be just a nice, cozy little living room area where you can sit and enjoy the fire.
All right, and it is cozy. It's got good
Yep.
proportions, but
Yep.
again, you're sort of blocked from the
Right.
back of the house, and boy, I just want to find
Right.
out what's back here.
Yep.
Ah, look at that. There is the river.
This is where you can finally see all the action.
Yeah, you guys just had to have this house, didn't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. So what do you do out here? I mean, you got the glass, but it's a little outdated, right?
We have the glass. It's outdated, so this room's going to be quite a bit bigger, go all the way out about twice the width that it currently is.
Push the whole house out.
Push the whole house out, make it, nice windows, the
Yeah,
whole thing.
sure.
And most importantly, open this big expanse of a wall up. So
When you
can,
say open it up, what are you going to take it all down, or?
Well, this will be brought down to about here. So this will be a nice low wall here with some
Yep.
columns to define the space.
Very nice.
And then this is just going to be a big wide opening. So you'll have opening, low wall, opening. It'll be really open to the living room.
Oh, I think you guys are onto something.
You'll see the river from inside the house.
You've got
That's
to,
what's gonna
right?
happen.
You buy this house, you've got to see that river. Okay, so let's keep going. You got a little dining room right here. Is this where you guys take your meals every night?
No, actually, no. This is dining room number 2. Dining room number 1 is
2.
in here.
So you got yourself a small little house, but you got 2 dining rooms.
That's right. We flip a coin every night.
All right. Well, what goes on here? Which one goes? Which one stays?
So that one stays. This one will become part of a larger kitchen. And what we're also going to do is provide some access to the outdoors from this level. One of the access points will be we'll put a door in here that goes out to a deck, so
Gotcha.
we can eat outside when the weather's nice.
So there's no way to get outside right now.
Not from this level right now, no.
And then this is the working kitchen, right? Oh yeah, the working kitchen, maybe. Look at this. This thing is a time capsule, huh? Boy, all the yellow, you don't see that often, and the Formica countertops right here, and your old wooden. Hey, we didn't break it.
There you go.
Well, we will fix it though. Who cooks? Who's working the
We
kitchen?
all cook, but I do
Yeah.
most of it, and,
Right.
and
Jay does some
does
cooking.
too.
All right.
He loves
Does.
cooking.
And
Yeah, so does Blackberry sometimes.
Blackberry doesn't watch out. They're going to be part of the meal. I love the stove. You're going to save that, right?
Oh, well, it's got this amazing feature here. You can really,
Fine
almost
tune your
like
lighting needs. Yeah.
headlights on what you're cooking, pancakes, meatloaf, whatnot. So
I have never seen something like that before. So,
it belongs to the Smithsonian, but we're gonna have to part with it.
all right. So what happens in the kitchen? Completely gutted?
Completely gutted, that wall removed, so the kitchen becomes this room plus the dining room
Sounds like you guys are onto something. So a lot of work down here, but some more work upstairs as well.
and
Yeah.
downstairs.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't you guys show me that too, please? So how many bedrooms on the second floor?
We have 3 bedrooms, 2 kids' rooms.
2 for the kids. What happens to these?
Not much, just new windows for the most
All
part.
right. So they stay the same. What do you change? Oh wait, let me guess. You're going to be changing the little pink bathroom?
Right. The bathroom needs some attention for sure.
That's a lot of pink. Oh, hang on, 2 bathrooms. That's a little odd. They're connected?
Yeah, it's a funky kind of Jack and Jill 3-room suite of bathrooms, I guess. And
Looks a little Jill and Jill with all this pink, but oh man, look at this shower right here. I bet you if you wait long enough, this will come back.
well, I don't think we're willing to wait for that, Kevin.
All right.
So we're going to basically chop the bathrooms in half, master bathroom and kids' bathroom.
Gotcha. All right, what do we got through here?
And here's the master.
Yeah, no, this is a good sized
Yeah,
master.
this is a great room. The problem, once again, is that we just don't have access to the great river views. So
Yeah.
we have the small window here, but that will become a bigger window with a matching nice big window over here.
you wanna
when we
wake up to that
in the
river.
morning and just see the view out there.
Absolutely. And what you got here? A deck?
This is a little deck. It's not
Okay.
all that safe currently.
I tell you, it may not be safe, but it is a luxury to have outdoor space off of your bedroom.
It is gorgeous.
So this
gorgeous.
gets rebuilt and turned into a real deck?
Right. This will be, the sunroom will be bigger, so the deck will be bigger, and it'll be a real deck with, railings
With a
and
real
the whole
railing.
thing.
All right, sounds terrific. So you bought yourself a river. Now we're going to build you guys a better house. And actually, demolition starts today. So you along for the ride?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get started. If we're in the basement, that means Richard's got to be nearby. Hey, Richard.
Always.
What do we got back here?
Well, this, Kevin, is an original.
Ooh, a big original.
This
And-
is from the early 40s. This would have been right at the period where you went from coal-fired to oil or gas, and this is a hot water heating boiler. It also would be the time that you first had circulator pumps.
So is this oil?
Well, this is oil now, yeah.
Okay.
So heated water would leave through this pipe right here, would go out through here, and split to both sides of the house. and you would have fed up to a radiator right here,
Yeah.
and it would have returned back to this point right here. And this was really as good as you could get back then.
Okay, but back then is over 60 years ago.
That's right.
What do you think of it now?
I wouldn't change anything. We have the radiators, we can reuse them when we can,
Really?
and we use all that piping over again, sure.
What about the big green monster here?
Well, this is going to go, this definitely, you can be more efficient, we can have a smaller unit. Now, this unit right now heats the building, but also helps to make hot water. This was an external tankless, and heated water came up into this coil right here, and this is filled with copper coils right here. And so water that comes in from the cold water meter comes in here to be heated and leaves and goes out to the hot water faucet.
So you use super hot water from the boiler to make your domestic hot water.
That's right.
Oh, you like that? That's very efficient, right?
Well, it's efficient in the winter when the boiler's on.
Yeah.
Think about it in the summer.
Oh,
you have to keep this whole boiler hot for the off chance you might need a little bit of hot water.
That's not efficient.
So this is the standard evolution we see all the time. From the external tankless, they feed over to here to
Yeah.
a tank type water heater. In this case, it's gas fired or electric. And so if you're going to feed it with hot water in the winter from the tankless, it means that the gas valve won't come on. But in the summer, when you turn that boiler off, this is how you make hot water.
Oh, so actually best of both worlds.
That's right.
Okay. And so how much of this stays and how much of it goes?
Boiler goes away, and we're going to go with a more efficient unit that's back on the wall. This whole space will be available.
Gotcha.
But we can't just take this out without being very careful. This is filled with asbestos, and so we want that to be taken away.
Gotcha.
And this paneling is all asbestos paneling, so we want that all to be properly abated, and then we'll make the boiler go away.
All right, so those go away and you give us something more efficient.
That's right.
I love it. Hey, Roger, how about this, huh? Our first project house with a river in the backyard.
We have water, we have wildlife, turtles, fish. This is like my ultimate backyard, Kevin.
Perfect, right? And it's why the homeowners bought the house. So here's my plan of the house or mine. I would say rolling lawn from the patio right down to the banks of the river, and then a little dock for our canoes.
You're so funny.
What?
First of all, this isn't your property.
I know, but it's a good plan.
Second of all, we are under restrictions from the local conservation board. We can't do anything from 100 feet from the river's edge all the way up, which brings us right to the edge of our development.
Wait a second, nothing?
Well, they're going to let us do two things. They want us to remove the invasive plants in here, things that have come in on their own. Then they want us to plant native plants.
So we've got to take out the bad plants, put in the new plants?
Yeah, and the third thing we have to do is we have to protect any sediment from running from our project down to the river.
So all this protection, Roger, is basically for a couple of reasons, right? Because we're going to tear up this whole job site.
Right, you're going to have an exposed soil here, and we don't want that to get down into the wetlands, so we want a barrier to keep that sediment from going down. We don't want to create erosion.
All right, no erosion. And then the second thing that we want to protect against?
Filtering the water. If water runs off of the dirt, it could be a lot of contaminants in it. We want to keep that from going down into the hill.
And in the past, we've done that with hay bales, right? Just set a whole bunch of hay bales along this perimeter?
Right, set the hay bales, stake them, and put down behind them a black silt fence.
Yeah.
A lot of work. But also at the end of the job, you had to pull all that stuff out.
Gotcha. And you were always talking about how those hay bales are full of bad seeds and stuff, so you can start introducing plants?
You can introduce plants into the wetlands that you don't want here.
All right, so the alternative is this guy right here.
Compost tube.
Yeah.
The burlap, and they just take a big truck out front loaded with compost. It has a pump on it, and it's going to pump the compost all the way down here, and they're going to just start filling the tube up and laying it in place.
And we've actually used this in the past, but you can see that this guy's already full of compost here, and it's literally just getting more full as he blows it.
And the great part is, Kevin, at the end of the job, the burlap or the hemp will break down, and we just spread the compost up, and that's all we got to do to clean it up.
So nothing to pick up when we're done with this whole thing?
Nothing at all. Now, we're all set as far as conservation is concerned to start our demolition.
Great.
Our architect is Chris Chu, and she's been working with our homeowners for the last few months. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Norm.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Well, you certainly have a challenge with this one.
Yes, it is a challenge. The garage is a box that sticks out in front of the house.
Right, it just seems like it wants to be pushed back out of the way to me.
And this is what I'm thinking we would do. As you can see, here's our box. What we can do is to add a gable roof.
All right, and that's traditional, and it certainly goes along with the hip roof on the house, but it's still in front of the house.
Well, what we can do is add a pergola walkway that will connect the driveway to the front of the house.
Okay, I see. You got a pergola drawn in here, but it's
That's right.
actually not in there. It's way out here.
That's right. It's in
So
front
it
of the
brings
house.
everything forward. You got a nice covered pergola to walk through. But, you know, I got to tell you something that's been bothering me. When I get here and turn this way, I don't see a real good front door. I just see a hole.
Yes, what we're going to do is have this pergola go towards the house, and as you go towards the house, we're going to have a new entry hall.
Okay, let's see what that's going to look like, the outside.
This entry hall will have a new door with glass and side lights on the other side. Will bring lots of light in.
All right, and you've added a gable here. So we're getting a little more character and the house feels closer to the street.
That's right. And as you walk towards the house, you're going to see this fabulous view off to the side. You know what's coming around the back.
Right, the $1 million view, which no one ever took advantage of with this house. When it was originally built, the windows were small. Didn't seem like they were even thinking about that. What was the idea back then?
Well, you know, back then, and I've seen this time and again, houses were basically just, you know, walls and a roof. They weren't really interested in views or access to the outdoors. Here, we want to change that. We want to create a house that has wonderful views from inside and where we can really enjoy the outdoors.
Right. And I guess at one point someone tried to take an appreciation of the view with this porch, but it's up on lally columns and it looks a little substandard, I would say.
It is a little substandard, and as you can see, it's a little rickety. And we were going to take this whole thing down, and we're going to create a 2-story addition that's going to have a wonderful light-filled sunroom above with views all around, and especially that corner.
Yeah.
And on the first floor, we're going to have a family room underneath, which will also have windows. We're going to really, really enjoy the view at any time of year.
So that's a year-round appreciation of the view and enjoyment, but what about outdoors?
Outdoors, what we want to do is add this wonderful deck off the new sunroom with French doors leading onto it. So we can come right out whenever we feel like it. When the weather's good, we can just come out and enjoy it. And to further enjoy this deck, we can also connect it to a new kitchen door there. So if you want to come out for a cup of coffee, you can just walk right out, and here you are, you have this fabulous view right at your fingertips.
Well, that's what I would be doing every morning on a day like this, is coming out here on this porch. I think you've given us some very clever solutions, not only for the front of the house, but back here to enjoy the view.
That's the whole idea.
All right.
We've heard everyone's plans for the house, but nothing could go forward until Tommy's had his say. And Tom, you've had a chance to take a look at the house?
I have, Kevin, and I got some great news. This house is really structured very well.
That's nice to hear.
See these floor joists right here? They rest on this steel beam. That steel beam is unusual for a house of this period. That steel beam comes down and connects to another steel beam that runs this way, and they're all resting on this one lally column.
One lolly instead of a whole line of these things that we're used to seeing in basements.
Right.
All right.
Now the floor joists in this room rest on that second steel beam, and they go all the way over here to the outside wall, right here. Now that makes it nice for me to support the second floor, the roof above, because I have to remove this wall.
Because this wall's coming out to make room for another addition that's going to be out here, what?
It's going to be about 16 by 16.
This is a big wall to take out. This is actually the foundation, right? Poured concrete?
That's poured concrete, 10 inches thick. We got to take that right out to open up that space.
All right, you got the scaffolding set up. Are you guys getting ready to do some demo?
Well, we have to remove this old addition to make room for the new addition. But we have some new rules that we have to follow. Let me show you.
And so what are these new rules, Tom?
Well, Kevin, time was that we could come up and just rip this addition off.
Throw it in the dumpster and be done with it.
Exactly, but the EPA has set up new guidelines that any house built prior to 1978, you have to assume that it has lead and you have to test for it.
Okay.
So I, as a contractor, have to be certified in knowing how to deal with that lead.
All right, and this is a national rule.
It's a national rule. So we have to know how to protect the area, protect the help, and notify the homeowner to protect them also.
So before 1978, that's every house you work on.
Just about.
And it's going to mean more time and more money for you and the homeowner.
Exactly.
All right, well, this is something we're going to have to dig into and understand better because this affects all of us now.
It sure does.
All right, well, while we're doing that, we're going to dig right now into the asbestos problem, and we've got an expert, Glenn Potter, here to help us with that. I was expecting to find our asbestos inspector in the basement, but Glenn, you've brought me to the kitchen. What's going on?
Well, the kitchen's a good place to start talking about asbestos.
All right.
And I actually brought you some rocks from a mine. This is raw asbestos.
That's it right there. Most guys bring coffee cake. You bring me a toxin.
Well, it's high in fiber.
But you're telling me it's mine, so this is a mineral that you pull up out of the ground.
They dig it out of the ground, crush it up, and add it to literally thousands of different products.
All right, so it's in a lot of stuff. Is it in our house?
It is. And in the kitchen here, we have it in the floor tile.
So the old floor tile. So we'll have to take care of these right here. All right. And we don't like asbestos because it causes cancer, correct?
That's correct. Asbestos can cause cancer as well as lung disease.
But we don't really actually mind it. I mean, we can live with it safely so long as we don't disturb it, so long as we don't do a renovation and sort of get it all up into the air.
Right. Asbestos is a hazard if the fibers get into the air and you breathe them in. If it's
Gotcha.
intact, you're not going to disturb it. It's not a problem.
All right, well, we're going to disturb a lot in this house, so I'm glad you're here. Where else did you check and what else did you find?
We checked the ceiling here, and we found asbestos in the joint compound.
In the joint compound? That's surprising to hear.
And if people are going to disturb windows, we need to check the glazing compound as well as the caulk around the frames of the window.
Well, you weren't kidding when you said it's in everything. All right. So you've provided us with a detailed report after your inspection of the entire house, and that means that we're ready to start the abatement process?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you, Glenn. We are 5 days into our asbestos abatement, and normally we wouldn't have access to the site once work was underway. But we asked them to get us in, so they had to clean the whole area, they had to change the air and actually do air tests. And just to make sure, we sent in our canary, Brian Fitzsimons.
How are you? Good to see you again.
How am I? Better yet, how are you? Are we all safe in here?
We're safe in here, yes,
All right,
definitely.
well, you look good.
Thank you.
So 5 days of work, you guys have been just chipping away at it, huh?
Yeah, we've been working upstairs, and we've also removed the asbestos-containing tile and the mastic from here.
And you took it right down to the concrete?
Yes, we did.
All right, so a bunch of other stuff had to go, but the main event today is this boiler, getting it out of here. Where is the asbestos on this beast?
The asbestos actually surrounds the entire boiler. It's inside of these panels. I can give you a quick look.
Oh, yeah,
You
there
can
it
see
is.
the corrugated paper. It's impregnated with asbestos. It's about 75%.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the fibrous nature of it here.
So we don't want that in our lungs, so this has got to go.
Exactly.
You're ready to get back to work, which means you have to reseal this whole site?
Exactly.
All right, well, I'm happy to get out of here.
We're happy to have you go.
Thank you, Brian.
For heavier components, we actually double bag them. They go into the woven bags first and then into the black plastic bags for ultimate disposal. It's important that we mist everything down so that we keep the dust levels low.
So even with all of your fine preparation, it still just comes down to a sledgehammer.
Yeah, unfortunately so. We're going to separate the ribs of the boiler, remove the asbestos-containing caulking between the ribs, then we'll wash the ribs down and recycle the metal. As you can see here, we're removing one of the sections.
Oh, yes.
Delicately.
So the boiler is made up of different sections, and the trick is to break it into those individual sections so we can haul it out of there.
Yes, whenever possible, each section will come apart. As you can see, it doesn't always happen that way.
So Brian, abatement is complete, and this is all of our asbestos here?
All ready to go, Kevin.
All right, well, thanks for your help.
My pleasure.
Now, before the asbestos goes to the landfill, it is actually bagged and tagged. There's a label here with the homeowner's name on it. It's creating what they call a chain of custody. Even once this gets to the landfill, they still want to know where the waste came from. And I'll tell you what, we are happy to see it go. So, until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor for This Old House.